are we allowed to be bullish right now? Are there any bull lefts on the market? I think there are a few, and I'm not the only one. And yeah, I'm still a bull, and I'm going to tell you now why I'm still a bull. Are there any bull lefts? And I'm going to tell you why I'm a bull and why I'm still bullish on the market. And for those that don't know me, my name is Pedro 𝗙𝗹𝗹. I've been here since on the market since 2017. I joined Banter in December, and now I'm going to be here every day. Doing what I call the therapy sessions, cry together, smile together. It depends on the market. And yeah, today I'm going to tell you why I'm still not bearish, and I want to tell you why I was ready for this move and the market to be like it is right now. But first, I want to know, where are you watching? As always, I like to map my audience, and so I would love to know from where you are watching. And yeah, be aware I'll be here every day right now. And there's a controversy on the market and on the social networks right now that I'm going to address today so that you can make your analysis. Like I said, I'm a data guy. Okay, I do not tell just my opinion. I analyze the data and then I get my opinion. And when I do that, I don't like to cherry pick data. Okay, I like to see both sides and then I make a decision. And if it works for me, it should work for you. Okay, and also you will never see me joining the bottom is in, the top is in crew. That's not for me. Okay, I trade like everyone else. If the market tells me to go short, I'll go short. If it tells me to go long, I'll go long. I will do live trading with you guys here. But just for you to understand that you never see me, look, the bottom is in, the top is in, that's not my thing, okay? I'm not going to join that discussion because for me, I follow structure in a high time frame. Until then, it's just noise, it's just trading, okay? So just for you to be aware of this. And as an introduction, I said in August on a video that unfortunately it's not up already. It's no longer up and available. I said in August that I have a plan, and you should have a plan for a bull case, a neutral case, and a bearish case, okay? And this is what I was discussing in August, just for you to be aware. I'm going to show you right now, okay? Short bear market till Powell gets replaced. And that's what I was saying at the moment. And I remember doing this live stream and I was saying like this, guys, there's a lot of uncertainty right now. Trump is clashing with Powell. So just have a plan and prepare yourself for all scenarios. And if that happens, you are okay with that, okay? So this is the type of information that you can expect from me, okay? I'm going to tell you, look, I'm doing this, and I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this, okay? At the moment, I told you, this is my plan. I'm going to keep accumulating those altcoins that I think have value. I'm not talking about micro caps. I'm talking about larger caps, multi-cycle ones, and I'll keep doing that, okay? I know my conviction has a price, and I prefer to pay the price of being wrong than paying the price to being out of the market. This is just me, and this is the honesty you always get from me. So with this said, this move on a Saturday that we saw was suspicious, okay? It doesn't make any sense. Unfortunately, I could not track the move entirely. There's a situation happening in my area, a disaster one, so I wasn't fully following the move. But I want to tell you this, when someone dumps $1 billion of Bitcoin on a Saturday, a illiquid day, something is off, something is not okay. Something doesn't make sense, okay? This is what the data tell us. Imagine this, you have $1 billion and you decided to sell it on a Saturday. Why? And why? Unless you want to crash the market, unless you want to flush it. Okay, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you what the data tells me, okay? And there's something that we'll analyze at the end of this stream, is that for me, the structure is not broken, okay? But I want to address something that happened yesterday that I think is really important for you to understand. And you'll see that here, I'm not going to, okay, now I say this. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll never say that. Never say to buy or sell, take this trade or whatever. I'm going to give you the data so that you can make your decisions. And this is something you can always count on me, okay? I want to teach you how I do it, because if it worked for me, it should work for you. And then you make your decisions, okay? Easy as that. And also, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Leave your like here so you can pick the algo, okay? So moving forward, yesterday we had something really, really good for the market that I think it was not correct priced in. Okay, I think let's go here. Okay, first. So we had the ISM PMI, and it came above 52.6. Okay, and I want to tell you what PMI is and why this is so relevant. Okay, because this triggered a lot of discussions on the market, like a lot. Okay, so we first need to understand what is the PMI and why some people are saying that it's bullish, other people are saying that it's a nothing burger, other people are saying that in the past it didn't mean anything for the market. And I'll give you the data, I'll tell you my opinion based on the data, and I want you to elaborate your own opinion. Okay, because you need to understand this. You can cherry pick the data. You can cherry pick the data to match your thesis. But when someone goes dig it, they can see it, it's not exactly what you are trying to say. That's why I see always both sides, always, okay? So first we need to understand what is the ISM, okay? The ISM measures how can I say this? It measures every month, and it's published every month, and it's a survey of America factory managers. They measure new orders, production, employment, deliveries, inventories, etc., okay? And the rule is simple. It's really simple, okay? Above 50, which we had 52.6, it means the economy is in expansion mode. It's growing. Below 50, it means contraction. And this one, it's one of the oldest, most respected macro indicators in the world. And when the ISM moves, the market pays attention, okay? And this is really important. You need to understand this also, okay? We printed 52.6 yesterday, and it's the first expansion in 12 months. In 12 months, after 26 consecutive months of contraction, the longest in Bitcoin history, okay? And some people are saying that this doesn't matter, and the last time we saw this level, Bitcoin went down. But I think they're wrong, and I'm going to show you why, exactly why, and with data. Okay, like I said, this is something you can expect from me. So let's understand what we have here. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'm seeing the comments always, and I'm here to clarify everything. So we need to understand one thing, okay? And I built this just for this live stream. I can share the links on my X. I will share the links of this on my X later, so follow me on X. We need to understand that ISM now it's 52.6. It jumped from 47.9 to 52.6, 47.9 in December, 52.6 in January. Okay, and December was the lowest one. And this is a 5-point increase. This is not a normal fluctuation. Okay, this is a regime change crossover. New orders jumped to 57.1, and this is the highest one since February 2022. Okay, production is growing, and these are real numbers showing demand. Okay, you need to understand this, and direction matters more than the number. And this is why I think you need to understand this, because there were some people saying that in 2014 we had a similar reading and Bitcoin dropped. Okay, and I have the comparison here. We were at 55.7 and we dropped to 55.2, Bitcoin dropped. That's what they are arguing. And now we came from 48.7, went to 52.6, and they are expecting Bitcoin to drop, or that this will not matter, okay? To be honest, this doesn't make any sense because the direction is key. The direction here is key. And this is where I think they are wrong, okay? I think comparing this with this is like saying that 20 degrees in January is the same as 20 degrees in September. In January, we are cooling up. Or warming up, sorry. In January, we are warming up. In September, we are cooling down. If you live like me in Portugal, this is the norm. If you live on the other side of the world, just do the other way. So this is what I wanted to understand, is that most people get this wrong because they are looking at the number and not the direction. Okay, not the direction. And we need to understand this. If you go to 2014, we need to see what happened. Okay, because there are some people arguing that this happened in the past. So we went from 52.5 to 55.7, okay? And the argument is ISM went up, Bitcoin went down. So ISM doesn't predict Bitcoin. Fair. Let's say it's fair. But Bitcoin dropped in a post-Mt. Gox bear market, November 14, all-time high to a 14-month crash. Nothing to do with the ISM. And you need to understand something. In 2014, Bitcoin, I have all this data to share with you. I'll share it on my X later. At a $5 billion market cap in 2014. Okay? This doesn't make any sense. Comparing 2014 to what we are seeing right now, honestly, for me, doesn't make any sense. Okay? But this is just my opinion, like I'm saying. And now we need to see 2015. Okay? 2015 went from 54 to 48.8. Okay? ISM dropped from 54 to 48, and Bitcoin went from $322 to $322. Remember Bitcoin at 322 to $429. Okay, and now this is where people say ISM is irrelevant. Okay, and let's call it fair. So the context of this, we need to understand. Bitcoin bottomed in January 15 after 14 months of bear market. The recovery, was an internal cripple cycle, not a reaction to ISM. Bitcoin, again, in 2015 had $5 billion market cap, and there was no macro correlations. This was just retail at the time, not even institutions, nothing, retail. The OGs that are selling now, those OGs, they were the ones pushing up and down the price at the moment, okay? So we need to understand is that 2014 and 2015 showed the ISM's movements were within expansion, above 50. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Like I said, below 50 contraction, above 50 expansion. So these two moments that people say, or some people argue, that doesn't correlate with Bitcoin, the economy was already in expansion mode. There was no crossover. There was no flippening. Let's say like this, like we like to use it in crypto. So we need to understand the key difference right now. 2014, market cap $5 billion to $1.5 trillion. Zero institutionals, zero ETFs, only retail, macro correlation, zero. Zero, okay? Then we had institutional flows, spot ETFs in 2026, middle cycle positioning, macro asset classes, and risk-on correlation. Okay, this is what we are having just from a single indicator, and you will understand why I'm spending so much time here, because I want you to understand why this is bullish. Okay, so we need to understand, like I was saying, the crossover versus not having a crossover, and here we need to be fair. Okay, we only have data from 1 year, n equals 1. Okay, so we need to understand this when you are doing this comparison. Like I said, for me, this is data, and this is what the data tells me. June 2020, we had a real crossover. Okay, it was the only one since Bitcoin exists. So the real crossover, we moved from 50 to 41.5, and then we went to 52.6. Like you can see it here. Okay, and this signals the end of an industrial recession and the start of a new cycle. Okay, when there isn't a crossover, there's nothing bullish. Okay, this is what happened in June 2020. Bitcoin was at 9,500 at the moment, and later that year, in 17 months, it went to 69,000. Okay, June 2020. You can say Kiwi, quantitative easing, whatever. I'm telling you ISM, and why some people are looking at this and some people are trying to discredit. We had the crossover, and now we had the crossover also. Okay, same pattern. We don't know what's going to happen further, but we had this crossover. Okay, like I was saying, 2014, no crossover. Okay, no crossover, no signal, invalid comparison. Okay, let me know if this is clear for you, all of you, because I really want you to understand this. Okay, because I know there's a lot of arguments on X mainly now, and I want you to really understand so that you can make your decision. I'm not going to tell you if they are right or wrong. I'm going to tell you my opinion with the data from both sides. Okay, I just want you to know that. And then there's the debate. Okay, and this is where I think we need to understand what's happening. Okay, ISM crossover matters for Bitcoin. Okay, but we need to be fair, because that's only half of the story, because there's something else that happens every time ISM crosses above 52, and something that I'm not seeing too many people talking about it. And I'm going to show you that also. Okay, I hope you enjoy this type of live stream. Let me know on the chat. Like I said, we will do live trading. Let's wait for the shutdown to be resolved. But there's something happening every time that ISM crosses 52. But before that, I want to tell you this. We need to let the data speak. Okay, the bearish argument using 2014 has three fundamental problems. Compares a level without direction, uses data from BTC that no longer exists, and contradicts itself by using ISM to make predictions while criticizing the ISM to make predictions. Do you understand what I'm telling you? People are telling you that ISM doesn't matter, but they are using ISM to criticize ISM readings. Okay? But again, don't trust me. Do not trust anyone. I have it here. Look at the data. Directions matter more than the number. Okay? And this will always be my motto here. You don't have to trust me. I'm giving you the data so that you can understand what's happening. Okay? This is key for me. But again, there's something that happens with ISM. Okay? And that's correlated with gold. And I have that ready here for you to explain you also. So, look here. Every time ISMs crosses 52, in other words, exit contraction, gold makes its cycle top within 1 to 2 months. Again, every time the economy expands, goes to above 52, the ISM, gold makes its cycle top in 1 to 2 months. Not now, not tomorrow, and not yesterday. 1 to 2 months. Okay? And there's something more about this. That's why I need you to listen this till the end, because I did the analysis, and this is an extensive one, but you need to listen till the end so you can get all the info. Okay? And guess what happens every time gold tops? Bitcoin rally begins. Easy. Not before the gold top, not during the gold top, after. And so let's see what I'm meaning here. Okay? And I have everything here so that you can check. Again, I'm going to share this later on my X. Just follow me on X. You have the link on the description. And here is how the rotation works, and not the gold to Bitcoin rotation. Okay? Talking about cycles, market. First, we see a weaker economy. Then, the people goes to, I don't know, after the economy gets weakened, ISM drops below 50, manufacturing contracts, uncertainty rises, confidence drops, etc. Gold rallies. That's what we are seeing, right? We saw a rally on gold because of uncertainty. Okay, you have everything here. Gold is the asset that you buy when you don't know what comes next, and it rallies through the contraction phase. Okay? Then ISM crosses 52. And this is the inflection point. This is where things start to change. Okay? It's not 50. 50 just means that the bleeding stopped. We need 52. 52 means expansion. Okay? And that's when the actual returning starts. And this is the trigger. Okay? And now the fourth one, gold tops. And after gold tops, Bitcoin starts to take over. Okay? Happened in 2016, in 17 months, 2020, and 5 months, I think so. In 15 months, sorry. This is how it works. Okay? But again, gold needs to exit momentum. Okay? Gold needs to lose momentum and makes its cycle top. Historically, 1 to 2 months after ISM crossed 52. Okay? Then you see the risk appetite come back, the capital starts to rotate into risk assets. And Bitcoin begins its parabolic phase. And this should be where the real bull run starts. Okay, the real one. And those that are here for a longer time, we haven't seen it yet. Okay, we haven't seen it. How can I say this? We haven't seen that parabolic phase, this cycle. Okay, and again, I can be wrong. That's always that chance. But I use data, not emotions, to make my analysis, and I'm going to stick by it. Okay, like I was in August saying, have a plan. Now I'm telling you, maybe it's not the time to panic. Okay, so I need to be clear about this. This is not money flowing from gold to Bitcoin. That's not how it works. Okay, That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is changing is the market regime that gold serves when there's uncertainty, okay? Gold is what you hold when you don't know what's coming. Bitcoin needs confidence, okay? I know some people think it's a reserve value, whatever. Market doesn't seems to see it like that yet, might see it in the future, but right now it doesn't seem to see it like that, okay? So gold you hold when you don't know what's going to happen. Bitcoin when you know what's going to happen and you believe the risk is worth taking. Usually when the economy shifts from contraction to expansion. Okay, we need to see this shift. We need to see the psychology shift from risk off to risk on. Okay, this is key. This is essential. So, like I was saying, ISM crossing the 52, it will tell us that the gold transition might be happening. Okay, and we have all the data here. I'm not going to run it again. I'm going to share this later with you. Okay, and like you can see, 2016, gold topped after 1 month of ISM crossing 52. In 2020, after 2 months of gold crossing, of ISM crossing 52, gold, they did stop, and then everything you already saw. Okay, and this is data. I'm not making this up. This is all data that you can see and check for yourself if you want. Now, it's undeniable that there's a pattern here, okay? We have 2 cycles that did the same thing. But again, you have an issue. Data n equals 2. It means that we only have 2016 and 2020 from the Bitcoin era, okay? Previously, there was no Bitcoin. So we need to take this data and understand that macro supports our thesis, and the 2 times on the Bitcoin era also supports our thesis, okay? So we need to understand where we are now, okay? ISM was below 50 for 26 consecutive months. 26, not 4, not 5, 26. It was the longest manufacturing contraction in Bitcoin history, okay? By far. We saw gold went parabolic, and then we have ISM from January coming at 52.6. Same crossover, same trigger. And this is, if this pattern is correct, we are going to have the gold top in 1 to 2 months, okay? But there's something here that you need to pay attention, okay? Because this might be an anomaly. And I'm just showing you the data, okay? And I'm going now to tell you why the next ISM is key. And it's really key. Because here is what's going to make a break. We need to see a confirmation on the ISM. We need to make sure that the ISM on February comes above 52, okay? If not, some can argue that this ISM was just manufacturers and industries buying more because of the tariffs, and they were replenishing the inventories, and that's why having this ISM, okay? You just need to be aware of this. Okay? But there's also something that makes 2026 unique. Because in October, we hit 126,000 per Bitcoin, okay? The top that everyone called. And this has never happened before. Not in 2016 and not in 2020. In both prior cycles, Bitcoin didn't move until gold topped. So we need to ask ourselves, what's changed here? Why there are so many people bearish? And what's the 4-year cycle? If you ask me, it was that since we had an all-time high before the halving, but some people still claim it's alive. And we need to understand what's changed, what were the change here, okay? And it was the ETFs. And it was MicroStrategy buying aggressively. Some institutional demand. We never seen Bitcoin rally under conditions where historically never should have. But there's something still missing here. And that's the parabolic move that I was telling you. If you go check the all-time highs, it was a grind, okay? Not a rocket, okay? It was a grind, not a rocket. If you look at the Bitcoin move, and we're going to check the chart now, there was no parabolic move. It was a slow grind. Everyone that's been here for more than 2 cycles knows what I'm talking about, okay? There was no blow-off top. Like gold and silver just did. I don't know if it was the blow-off top, but that was a parabolic move. There was no vertical candle. There was no euphoria. It's euphoria, you say, right? Yeah. No retail mania. my Uber driver didn't tell me anything about crypto. So yeah, if you ask me, 126 was a mid-cycle top, driven by institutional demand in a low liquidity environment. That's what I believe. Okay, and I might be wrong here. But if what I just told you today is right, the actual bull run, it's coming. It's coming. I'm not going to mention alt season today because I don't want to offend anyone. This is my first live stream on this channel, so I want them to come back. But this is what I'm telling you. Okay, there was no parabolic move on Bitcoin. So if we can get the next ISM from February above 52, then we have confirmation. Then we might start to expect gold to top in the next 1 to 2 months, and then we can understand that. If it comes lower, then we just need to wait more. It's what it is, okay? And this is not me being bearish, okay? This is what it is. I'm looking at the data. I'm not going to tell you or sell fake dreams. Confirmation on February, game on, risk on, things are coming to fruition. If we don't have I will say above 50 at least in February, then the crossover is not real. Yes, above 50, if we don't have it, the crossover will not be real, and the gold rotation needs more time to happen, okay? So just be prepared for that. Be prepared for that, and yeah, let's see what's going to happen. And regarding the market, like I said, I really want to start do some live trading with you, and I want to do some live trading with you. And in the weekend, there was something that caught my attention, and that was the $1 billion Bitcoin sell on a Saturday. That's not organic. That doesn't make any sense, okay? And just for you to understand where I came from, for me, till we lose here, 74, it's fair game, okay? Till we lose 74, that's the beginning of the impulsive move. The last one, for me, it's fair game. If you tell me that we had a move like this on the market, and this is the weekly one, I'll get to a lower time frame, and we swept the lows here during the week, I will pay another attention to this one, okay? And just to be clear, it's okay to come lower, but I don't want a weekly close below 74, okay? Again, it's okay to come lower, but I don't want a weekly close below 74, okay? Because that will say then that I'll have confirmation that we are going to make a lower low and the trend shifted, okay? I might be late, but this is how I read things. I trade the small time frames, but for me, we have an equal low, we don't have a lower low, and so far, we just need to wait, okay? I don't know if we are going to make a second shoulder, like I know some of you are going to argue. I don't do futurology here, okay? If you make a lower low, then I can expect lower. If we don't make a lower low, then I'll reassess everything, okay? And that's exactly what I'm going to do, just to be 100% honest with you. And this is what you can expect on this channel. Not the bottom is in, not the top is in, whatever. We're going to trade what the charts tell us. But for me, I'm still accumulating my altcoins that I think will, how can I say this, will thrive when the time is right, okay? I think you have a full presentation for me right now, okay? I think now you have a full presentation for me right now. Like I was saying, on a lower time frame, this on Saturday was really awkward, okay? It doesn't make any sense. The move that we saw, someone selling at on a liquid day, we had a $1 billion Bitcoin sell. That's, I might be wrong here. It might be related with the files released. I don't know. I need to study that. And I'm not going just to tell you something that I'm not sure. But yeah, it was awkward, okay? This was awkward. And I don't believe in this move, okay? So if you ask me on a lower time frame, I think we might try, and we need that, to target 80K. We need to target that. This is what we need to do, okay? And this is what I want to see Bitcoin doing. Again, I was not active last week. I'm still not 100% active. I still had a lot of things to take care. But at least now that we swept the lows, if we want to start to talk about a recovery, I would expect at least test the 80K. Okay, at least the minimum thing I want to see on Bitcoin. Okay, why I'm not 100% sure about this? Several things. There's still a partial shutdown going on. If the shutdown is resolved, I think it will go higher. I think this was just something that, like I said, it was a trap on Saturday. I'm not sure about that. Like, just my feeling and my intuition doesn't make any sense. If I had $1 billion in Bitcoin, I wouldn't sell it on a Saturday if I didn't want it to move the market. Let's be clear like this, okay? And this, I think, is just common sense. But again, I'm expecting at least 80K so that we can start to look at the recovery. But I wouldn't be surprised if we range here, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if we range from, I don't know, between 74 and 82. I wouldn't be surprised at all that Bitcoin just range here. If my theory about the ISM is correct and February confirms the expansion, maybe it would just range till the gold tops. It's a possibility, and you should be prepared for that, okay? On a shorter time frame, I think the damage is done. Open interest is in existence right now, and we might go higher, at least 80K, okay? But we'll do live trading. We just need the market to settle, and then, because I want you guys to make money, not to lose money. So maybe tomorrow, if you have conditions, we can do some live trading. Also, ETFs flows are back. Okay, and this signals institutional appetite. We had some outflows, and again, do not fall for how do I say this in English? Sorry, for those big titles, massive outflows, whatever. Look at the bigger picture. Okay, if you have $25 billion in inflows in 1 year, will you care about? How can I say this? A $1 billion outflow? That's just. It's business as usual, okay? So again, for Bitcoin, be aware of 80K, and that's it. That's what I'm thinking. If something happens, if the shutdown continues, maybe can sweep the lows again. Again, like I said, we can go below 74 during the week. I don't want a weekly close below this level here. If not, then I need to reassess my position on the market and my opinion on the market, and that's it. So ETF buys, but when they sell, it's brutal. Yeah, it's always like that. So, guys, hope you enjoyed this. It was my first show on 24/7. I'll be here every day from Monday to Friday. And let me know in the comments what you want to see here. Bring me your altcoins, not microcaps. Bring me all altcoins. And tomorrow we'll do more TA and maybe some live trading if the market allows it. Thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.